Well, fresh off of winning a trophy at the end of the last episode, I think it's time for us to go smashing back to reality. We've got double Manchester City today in a Champions League and the FA Cup, and if they beat us in both of them, we'll have nothing left to play for. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 133 of this head coach story with me, Daniel. We are back today as City tighten their grip at the top of the Premier League table, but also to face them in the Champions League and in the FA Cup too. The Champions League, we're 1-0 down after the first leg you saw last time. We're probably out of that and we're going to rotate today. But then City at home in the FA Cup quarter-final. I'm hoping they'll have played their first team today and rest people for that. Well, we're going to be doing the opposite. So fingers crossed, we'll see how we get on. We're weakened today not only by the fact that we've got injuries, but also by those players that were sold in January. And Guido, who went off in the cup final, is out of both of these matches. So Jurgen Klopp City will be heavy favourites. They've definitely got the Premier League title now. Unless they get through in both of these and start slipping up in the fixture schedule, then maybe we'll be able to get back into it. But I don't think that's likely. I wouldn't mind going and winning the FA Cup. If we beat City, you would have to say we're favourites to go and retain the trophy. But for now, if you're looking forward to it and seeing how we get on, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you weren't here last time, where on earth were you? We lost 1-0 in the first leg to City and we won 1-0 in the Carabao Cup final. Kieran Jones, the unlikely hero that wrapped us up the trophy. And now we go straight into a big one. Fire a couple of bits of big news, because yesterday we had our youth intake for Manchester United. It was rubbish. We've got a couple of players who might be all right. Carl Pond is very versatile, so it would be handy if he could develop, but 5'2", very good technically, has a couple of key mental stats, but physically is genuinely awful. No natural fitness, no pace, no strength. He's got no positives to him. I'm not really sure what to do with that, but you look at sort of League One Championship level, he could be a very good creative force, but probably someone that will break down quite a lot. The other one was James Hill, who has 3.5 potential, but again, doesn't look like he's really going to make it at this stage. And interesting to note, we had a decent player from Montserrat in Matty Nelson, who is 3-star potential, and again, probably going to be a League One Championship player at best. We also had a reminder of what could have been in terms of squad depth, because a couple of days earlier we got 11 million as an add-on from the Ariel Garcia transfer. So there's a fullback we could have had at the club, but unfortunately is not one that we've currently got. So let's get through to the fixtures. It is Manchester City away. I think we all know what the outcome's going to be here. If we wanted to get through, we had to win the home leg. And with the squad we could put out, that wasn't going to happen. Let's go and see what I've picked for today, as they have definitely gone full strength. It's basically the same team that played last midweek, isn't it? I'm going to make an adjustment when we go into the game and go to a 4-3-3. I'm going to drop Kakada into the centre of midfield and one of the other two into the holding role. I just want to keep this respectable. I'm bearing in mind that Vidanov is cup tied for the weekend. I'm also bearing in mind that one or two like Julien are suspended. And we've got Baysal fit enough to play an hour today apparently. But again, Vidanov will play this one. Baysal will play on Saturday. It does mean we've been able to rest a few. Demeter and North are probably going to have to do half each because we just haven't got enough players there. And I felt that Simmons could be risked at left back because he didn't start either of the last two. So the lineup we've gone for is Robles in goal, Humphreys and Simmons the fullback, with Lima and Jones at centre half. We've got Julian and Heavy at the midfield too. Heavier again, probably won't do 90. With Gulstorff, Kakada and Vidanov the attacking midfield three, and Joel North up front. But of course, that will become a more defensive formation in a minute. There's some big hitters on the bench, as you can see, just in case we do happen to get back into this game. But I think you and I both know realistically, the chances of that are somewhere between slim and none. So let's go and get into it. The second leg at the Etihad. I just want to avoid embarrassment. That's all I'm looking to do. Well, no changes for City, and this is probably a good sign for us because they have played the same team then 3 games in a row. They played on Sunday in the Premier League. And if that remains the case, then they can't do it again at the weekend. Either that or they'll be absolutely knackered, and we should take advantage at home. Let's get through the dressing room though. We're going to tell the lads we've been written off, go and do it for the supporters. We're going to drop to balanced, and then we're going to put Kakada in midfield. But which one am I going to put in the holding role? Because Julian can't really tackle, but physically and concentration-wise, he's brilliant. Heavy is a bit more of a playmaker, but he's more of a threat going forward again. So Kakada is going to replace Julian there. He'll go into the holding role. He will be a defensive midfielder on defend. The fullbacks will be on a duty of defend. We are not trying to push them forward. Let's have a solid base of 5 or 6 at the back. Heavier can be a deep line playmaker on support. Oh, he's better in a defensive role anyway. And Kakada, you can be a Mazzala on support and just try and get up with the front three. They're going to go alone. They've not got a track back. The other 7 will do their job. Let's go and get into the first half. Hopefully, we can keep this respectable. I've got a feeling we're not going to be awful in this game. But last time I said that, we ended up losing 4 or 5-0. Let's hope we can avoid it this time. Well, this game has been exactly what we want. 37 minutes with no highlight. We've stayed in the tie. We've kept it respectable, but now we're back as Heavier loses the ball on the edge of his own box. Robles makes the save. He's still our best rated player, which suggests something. It's out for a corner kick and we survive at 0-0. You'd offered me this at the start, I would have taken it. As the corner comes into the back post, Robles gets there. Good goalkeeping from him. That's the best highlight of the first half. I think we're doing all right defensively. And at half-time, the scoreline stays the same. We are still in this. And if we can get to the, 65, 70 minute mark at this scoreline, they've got knackered players and we can bring on the big hitters who are fully fit. You know what? I reckon we've got a chance here. I don't want to speak too soon because it could be a stupid thing to do. But the way we've played so far, yes, it hasn't lent to much creativity, but it is certainly giving us an opportunity. And it's certainly helping us more than it would be if we were playing aggressively. We've got 25 minutes to go though, and we've now probably got to think about the people who will play at the weekend and those who can make a difference to our side. So, we have a look in midfield. One Heavier is going to have to come off. He's anxious, but he's going to play at the weekend, so we need him fit. Adrian Smith will come on for him. He is going to switch to an advanced playmaker on attack, and we're going to try and get him a bit further forward. In fact, we'll just stick with support for now. Let's not go too far. We're also going to take off Joel North for Demeter. Bit of a shame, really, because I would rather have bought off Gulstroff, sorry. I could do that and put Baysau on. Do I gamble him? But what if it goes to extra time? I can't do it. Joel North replaced by Marco Demeter. Julien is suspended at the weekend. He's going to play. We've got Kieran Jones who can go out to left back. And then we'll bring Isaac Simmons off because, again, we're going to need him at the weekend. He'll be replaced by Hervenhove. Steinle will come on right back for Humphreys. We'll save the last sub just in case of an injury because we've seen that happen before. Well, we've got a real chance in this tie now with 20 to go. There's going to be a point as we edge towards the final 10 where I do have to go for it. And it's just whether we get caught out then. As Steinle puts it in behind for Demeter. Oh, great opportunity. He was trying to cut it back, but he couldn't get enough on it. And in the end, it goes straight through. I'm going to make the gamble at the end here. He might end up having to do 40. Or do I? No. Hodgkinson is coming on for Kakada, who's had an average game. I've reverted to as close to our original tactic as I can. I've kept the fullbacks on defensive duties just so we've got that protection at the back. But we've gone back to the attacking midfielder. Hodgkinson will sit in as the defensive one. And then Julian and Smith can now push on. We've got 12 minutes to go. We're going to go positive in about 3 or 4 if we don't get the goal. As Laverne puts the free kick in, it could be over before that. Oh, come on. Why would you do that to me? A penalty given from a set piece. Who was that there? Who gave that away? I want to know who that is. It's going to be given to... Penalty awarded. I don't know who gave it away. I think it might have been Hodgkinson, you know. That's ridiculous. Castagna steps up. It's tie over. What a waste of effort that was. 10 to go. Let's see it out. We are out of the Champions League. We put up a far better fight than I expected. But it's a very disappointing way for that to end. In a game where City have offered next to nothing, they get gifted a penalty. They're turning into the United in the 90s, aren't they? Castagnas gets the ball to Borelli. He cuts in from the right. This is where it could get away from us. I think what we're seeing now in this 5 minutes is why we had to set up the way we did earlier on. Because we just get overrun if not. Smith picks the ball up for Lima. Into Julien. Big ball up towards Demeter, who loses out in the air. Scaroni heads away. We have to hope that this decision pays off in the FA Cup. That we get the opportunity to put our first team out and beat them. Because it could be another trophy. As Smith gets the cross in early to Demeter. Oh, he's hit the post. It's just not our night. We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time as Gulstorff gets it to Hodgkinson. Big switch to Vidanov. He's down the left. Stansfield tries to bring him down, but he gets there. Into Smith. Oh, it's not in again. How have you missed that one? It's a brilliant opportunity. We've had enough chances late on in this game to get the win. As Hodgkinson hits the bar, he's straight into the arms of Eliseu. And in the final minute of stoppage time, not for the one to try in, it is going to be defeat. And again, look at the chances we've had and we've not scored. It's becoming a real problem this second half of the year that we just cannot find the back of the net. Lima gets the ball into Julien. Of course, it doesn't help that our second top scorer, Taylor, was sold. It doesn't help that Ocon, who scored nearly 10, is injured. It doesn't help that Baysal, our biggest creative spark, has been out injured. It doesn't help that Guido's out injured. But still, here's Gulstorff down the right. We've got Vella, who scored a few off the bench. He's been loaned out. A 1-0 defeat on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. Let's get through to Saturday, the same opponent, but at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. And hopefully we get the response. A better one than that team talk anyway. Well, John Murtaugh's School of Sabotage is well and truly at work here because we've now got people complaining about my management 4 days after we won a cup final because we didn't get through the best side in Europe in the Champions League. Only because of a few missed chances as well. The main man behind it is Henry Ocon, who's out injured for the season and didn't take any part. Always nice to have the big hitters behind you. I'm determined and I want you to work as hard as possible. I don't want to apologise. You're a bunch of prima donnas. Let's have a look. I don't set the targets. The board do. We never had a chance. It was over-ambitious. I'm confident I have the backing of the vast majority. Yes, I do. And only one heavier is disappointed. There we go. Shut your faces, the lot of you. The board, very disappointed you failed. I mean, get over yourself. Seriously. You are doing nothing to help me here. You should be grateful for the fact I'm here. How many trophies had you been winning before? Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? 2 in 2 years now. You can keep your mouth shut. Let's get through to Saturday. John has well and truly sabotaged me, and the board are doing their very best to take my mind off of Saturday. And if I win it, I'll be doing the old hush sign to the director's box. Let's go and see if I can get my wish. Well, as we return for a season-defining FA Cup quarter-final, I think I need to keep an eye out for the Bulgaria job because Vidanov, as you can see down here, has just been called in as a late replacement into their squad for the next qualifiers. And if he can't make their squad, well, they've got a better squad than Manchester United, so we need to keep an eye out for that. Baysal should make his return today. Of course, Vidanov can't play in this one. Heavier is fit. Everyone else is pretty much there. And if we win this tie, we would probably be favourites for the competition. So let's go and get our best 11 picked at a sold-out Old Trafford. You can see the two that can't play. You can see plenty more tired legs in that lineup. But we're going to be picking a completely different 11. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, a new low record being set at Manchester United today. And John Murtaugh, you should take note of this. 3 senior outfield subs that are fully fit on the bench. 2 goalkeepers, 3 unfit players, including a greyed out one and a youth player. I mean, it's not good enough, is it? The 11 itself is pretty strong. We've got 2 players who have got their own fitness struggles in there and probably aren't going to do 90. And one of them we've got absolutely no replacement for, which doesn't bode too well. So due to Guido being out from the League Cup final, Adrian Smith is now further forward. We've got Robles in goal, Steinlein and Simmons the fullbacks with Hervenhoven Deverley back at centre-half. Heavier and Hodgkinson are in midfield with Demeter off the right, Smith and Baysal alongside, and then Joel North up front. I'm going to give Demeter the little talk about not scoring recently, and I hope that's going to pay dividends today. Criticise the recent form. You've not been scoring for a while. Don't worry, the goals will come eventually. And usually, that means they'll be today. We're going at home to City. We're going to play on the front foot. We're going to hope they've rotated because they've got a lot of tired players. They must have. They've played 3 games in a week, and most of these guys have had a rest. So let's go and get through to it and see what the sides look like. Well, it is indeed 4 changes for Manchester City. Crucially, the likes of Christian Spasov drop out. There is no harm in that for us. Laverne is a first teamer, as are the 2 fullbacks, but they're still bringing in the likes of Kelleher, who would probably be starting for our team. So we're going to tell the lads to prove a point. We're going to have a look at the fitness situation for City. Yeah, to be fair, they've got 2 or 3 that are struggling a little bit, and it's the England internationals in defence. But we've seen in the Euros before, those guys can still perform when they're knackered. So let's go and get through to the first half, the FA Cup quarter-final. If we can win this, it might improve my mood because it gives us a chance at a cup double. But for now, I'm not hugely confident. And as you can see, the League Cup final victory is our only win in our last 5 games. We're struggling with the depth of the squad. I mean, 3 senior outfield subs is ridiculous. But what can we do? Can we get a good start? Can this fully fit 11 blow City away? I doubt it. Let's go and see as Steinlein picks it up at left back. Carries the ball forward down the line. Has 4 up with him. Heavier is 1. Great through ball to Demeter. We've had that chat. Now can he score? He's in 1-on-1. And he's still fluffed his lines. Good save by Eliseu, but it's telegraphed. It's a poor finish. And base out will make do with the corner. Nobody going out for the short again as Devilay's up at the back post. Headed away as far as Smith. I think the danger's over, is it? Back to Hervenhoff. It goes nowhere. 10 gone. We've had the first shot on target. Well, 15 minutes gone and it's a United throw with Steinlein. We've started this game well, but again, no real goal threat though. Smith gets it 25 yards out. Through ball to Joel North. And he's found his goal for the big occasion. It's hard to criticise him because he so often pops up with crucial goals. And while he's been in a bit of a drought at the moment, he has scored a big one at home to City in the FA Cup. And if we beat them, well, it'll be a reverse for the Champions League, which will be nice for the fans. But it also gives us a real chance at another trophy. And as we mentioned many a time, Manchester United have not been winning trophies regularly. As Eliseu goes for the big kick over. Still only 20 minutes in. We probably shouldn't get too excited. As Devilay goes flying out of position. Though it works as Demeter nicks the ball high. Support from Baysal returning to Joel North. It's in off the post. The flag doesn't go up, but the referee has suggested he wants to go to VAR. Oh, please don't rule it out. That was a wonderful goal. It's awarded. That was incisive. The big front three are back together. Demeter to Baysal. Baysal to North. North in the back of the net. That is a proper United goal. Excellent stuff with a good front four. And with 10 to the break, it's not been a completely dominant performance, but we've restricted a fatigued City to next to nothing. They'll probably argue, well, we're going to win the title and we've beaten you in the Champions League. We're not too upset. And I accept that. But for the level that our club is at, we can win both domestic cups. We have done one hell of a job. As Baysal gets the corner in, Eliseu claims it. And it stays 2-0. A minute to half time. We do not want to concede before the break as Joel North goes up. His flick on only goes to Kelleher. And he finds Scaroni in midfield. And Kelleher again. Back to Parsons. The England centre-half finds Ticini. And he carries it into midfield to Jurovic. This is looking problematic now. Stansfield flying forward. It's a good through ball to Castañas. They've got a man over in the middle. Godwin's there. And thankfully, he shanked it wide. He really should have scored that. But at half-time, we are 2-0 up. I'm virtually in dreamland. And I'm really happy with how we're playing. Let's get into the second half, see if we can keep it up. As we've got an early throw on the right with Steinlein. Back to Heavier. And him again. Carries it into the opposition half to Hodgkinson. Big switch out to Demeter. There's 2 in the middle. Smith's one. Baysal's one. It's behind both. Borelli gets it away. Godwin releases Castañas. Simmons caught out. It's end to end. We don't want it to be this hectic. Robles makes a good save. Simmons did recover to an extent. But we don't want to let them back into it. If we can get a third, I will start to relax a little bit. But for now, we know what City are capable of. So I'm not getting too excited. An hour on the clock, we're 2-0 up. And at the moment, this has been a great performance. And I mean truly great. Right, we've made it to the final 15 minutes and there's not a great deal going on. I want to try and protect people a little bit, but I'm also aware of the fact that we've only got 3 senior subs available. So Smith is going to drop in for Heavier. He'll be replaced by Kakada. We've got Lima who can come on in defence, but I don't really want to mess with that at the minute. Humphreys is the other one, and again he's a defender. So I might just leave it for now. I could play one of them further forward. Can Humphreys or Steinlein do that? Yes, they can. So Steinlein could do that in a few minutes' time. The one I'm really worried about is Baysal. He's coming back from injury. I don't really want to do 90. So we'll give it 5 more and then we'll make some more subs. But for now, City have had next to no chances. Of course, that big Godwin one wide just before the break did potentially change the game. But with 5 to go, I think it's time to do it now, isn't it? We're being recommended to bring on ridiculous subs. So Steinlein is going to come off at right back for Humphreys. Lima is going to come on for... Oh, I don't know what to do there. Do you know what I'm going to do? I've made my decision. He's going to come on for Adrian Smith. Lima will go backwards and we'll deal with City's attacking threat the way we did in midweek. So he'll be an anchor man on defence and that'll work out that way. The fullbacks will go to defensive duties and we'll just leave the front 3 to run at them. What we're also going to have to do is take Baysau off because he can't cope anymore. So he will be replaced on the left-hand side. Going to bring on the youngster Verstegen. And then on the right, we'll do Gulsdorf for Demeter. I will tell you this now. If we do manage to let in 2 goals and go to extra time, we're in big, big trouble because we've got nothing left on the pitch. Time wasting all the time. Slow the pace down. Let's just get through a few minutes. I don't want to change our philosophy, but I do want to do it a bit slower because we just need to see the minutes out. We've got 2+ stoppage time to go, and we are moments away from a very famous result. What a performance that is. Do you know what? John Murtow might be the king of sabotage, but we are doing a great job. And do you know what? He's making me enjoy my successes more, so I'll give you that. I still want to get out of here at the first opportunity. But if we can win an FA Cup in addition to the League Cup on the way, this might be one of my best achievements in FM. If I can get a domestic cup double out of this season, honestly, I think I've outdone myself. Let's go and get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads well done. And now let's go to the schedule and see when we're going to be back. Well, our season now becomes about just 2 more trophies. We are 4 points behind City with a game in hand in the league. But ultimately, have we got a big enough squad to cope? Probably not. Having said that, we've got a lot of home games against bottom half teams. We've got an opportunity if we can find momentum. What we do need is to start scoring goals again, and with Baysau returning to fitness and with Joel North back in the goal scoring books, maybe that will happen in the next month. What we're going to do is either show the FA Cup semi-final if it's against a big team. We'll find out in the next episode whether that's the case. At the moment, it could be either Tottenham or Palace, Arsenal or Forest, Chelsea or Everton. Basically looking at the Premier League table at the moment, if it's Forest, Everton or maybe even Spurs, we probably don't bother. If it's the other 3, we probably have to show it. And if not, we'll be back for the final 2 games of the season. City at home could yet be a title decider. I really hope it is. But then if we win that and we get on top, imagine we then go away to Southampton and probably blow it. But for now, 2 very contrasting emotions in those performances. But I would say, away at City in the Champions League, we did better than I probably expected. A great win in the FA Cup though, the chance of a domestic cup double is still on. And then can we find another big job to finish off our career in style? If we do somehow win the Premier League, by the way, I'm calling it quits because you're not topping that achievement. If you're looking forward to finding out and you did enjoy this one though, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments if you think we win the FA Cup and can we still get in the Premier League title race, because don't forget, City will still be focusing on the Champions League. If you want to stay up to date and find out how it finishes, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time after our Build a Nation story is back tomorrow. You can find that playlist and many others up in the eye above, with any other links you can't find there down in the description below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully there's silverware to be lifted yet. I'll see you next time as we edge closer to finding out in a big season finale at United.